Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about design of bolted connections part 1. So design is nothing but in which aspects that bolted connection is going to fail. So we have to take care in those aspects, that is known as design. So design of bolted connection. So as we discussed, what are the things that are present in bolted connections? The connectors and connections. Okay, connecting members. So connectors are nothing but bolts and connecting members here as plates. Design of bolted connection. So first we have to design bolt in shear. Okay, so that is design shear strength of bolt. Design shear strength of bolt. Design shear strength of bolt. We represent with V, capital V suffix. Design shear strength of bolt. V suffix DSP. DSB. DSB. Design tensile strength of design shear strength of bolt. So now here strength is nothing but its internal resistance or its capacity to take the load. So strength is nothing but its internal resistive force to the external load. Agree or not? So external design load we are going to decide or determine by using a code book IS 875 1987. Yes or no? That is external load. That much of load is coming onto our member. Clear. So if we use bolts to connect that member, to connect the two such a members, now bolts are also subjected to that load, external load P. Agree or not? So now if bolts are having exactly that much of strength, then actually the bolt should have more than that. Okay, equal to or greater than or equal to that much of external load. Then only they are safe. Clear. So in design we have to take care of it. So now design shear strength. So strength is nothing but internal resistive force. So strength is nothing but internal resistive force. So now to get the internal resistive force, we represent with R. So to get the internal resistive force R, what is the formula? Stress into area. Okay, area which is undergoing that effect. The most generalized formula. Yes or no? So stress is nothing but internal resistance developed to the external effect. So now force is equal to stress into area. Stress into area. That's it. So everywhere the strength can be expressed in this format only. Stress into area. But as the code is there, so IS code has given some restrictions or something about this stress. So that is what it is mentioned in IS 800 2007. How much amount of stress to be considered and what are the reduction? Is there any factors to be considered and is there any reduction or increase factors? So that is laid down in this code. So we are not going to consider simply stress. So there exist some factors, okay, some reductions and something. So that is mentioned in the code. So that is why we have to discuss the code. But simply strength is nothing but stress into area. That's it. Clear? Now let us see the design shear strength of the bolt. Now you tell me which area is undergoing shear here? Circular area of the shank. Yes or no? So now based on that, I will write the design shear strength of the bolt that is mentioned in the code. So just upon looking at that formula, for sure you will get fear. Agree or not? So for sure you will get fear about that formula. The reason it is a very big, so very lengthy and very clumsy. So that is one of the reason why the steel is difficult or tough, or why the aspirants or candidates feel steel as a tough or difficult. The reason is, so wherever it is there, for example, if you take a code, so if you go through the code, that code is very complicated in nature and clumsy in nature. So it is not simplified version or it is not easy to understand. So without knowing anything about steel, and if you open that steel code book IS 800 2007, so for sure, I will tell that you will never open it again in your lifetime. So that is the complication of that code book. But once knowing the steel concepts and once knowing the understanding the provisions, and if you open it, we will understand it. Clear or not? So here I'm going to give you the formula or the what is mentioned about the design shear strength of the bolt in code book. Okay, later I'm going to simplify it. Clear? So the formula what is mentioned regarding this the design shear strength of bolt in code book is So this is the formula that is mentioned in the code book. Design shear strength of bolt. So as I said, strength is nothing but stress into area, yes or no? But this is what mentioned in the code book. So it is very simple to say that strength is nothing but stress into area. So very simple to remember also. But here, this is the formula that is given in the code book. Agree or not? So then what is this? So whatever we have discussed about strength is nothing but stress into area. But here, nowhere this formula is matching with that simple format. What is that format? Stress is equal for internal raised to force. That strength is equal to stress into area. So it is nowhere matching. Then why is this formula? So first let us see the terms in this, and later, as I said, I will explain this formula and I am going to simplify this formula. So first let us see the terms in this. So where Fu, so Fu is the ultimate tensile strength. Ultimate tensile strength of bolt or the structural steel member. So usually we are designing for bolt, so consider for bolt. So FUB or FU. So ultimate tensile strength. So if nothing is mentioned about this ultimate tensile strength, take it as a 410 Newton per mm. If nothing is mentioned, so simply take it as 410 Newton per mm square. And if nothing is mentioned about the grade of the steel, then take it as a mild steel. Okay, then take it as a mild steel which is having a yield strength of 250 Newton per mm square and ultimate tensile strength of 410 Newton per mm square. That is FU. And gamma MB, so this is the partial factor of safety for bolts. It is 1.25. We have discussed it in the introduction to the limit state itself. And here root 3, actually the stress to be considered here is Fu by root 3. So whenever a material is failing in shear, then stress to be considered is not simply Fy or Fu. Okay, it depends when to consider Fu and when to consider Fy. I will explain. So it depends. So in case of shear, we should not consider either Fy or Fu. We should consider Fy by root 3 or Fu by root 3. Why root 3? So this is based on the distortion energy theory. So this theory, regarding this theory, you are going to study in strength of materials in a topic name as theories of failures. So in strength of materials, we are going to study about 5 theories of failure: maximum principal stress theory, maximum principal strain theory, and then maximum shear stress theory, and maximum strain energy theory, and the maximum shear strain energy theory and distortion energy theory. So based on that theory, the stress to be considered in the shear is Fu by root 3 or Fy by root 3. It means that stress should be divided with a factor of root 3. So this is based upon which theory? Distortion energy theory. So as I said, this theory, regarding this theory, you are going to study in strength of materials. So in a topic named as theories of failures. Okay, so this is about the stress. So as I said, stress is strength is nothing but stress into area. So this is the stress. So actually, that's in the place of stress, we have to write permissible stress. So now code suggests us to take this stress. So Fu, so this is a factor we have to consider in shear root 3, and this is a factor of safety. We know that what is the safety format in limit state? The safety format in limit state is probable minimum strength and probable maximum load. Yes or no? So we have to decrease it. So that is the way the reason we are going to multiply with 1.25. Sorry, divide with 1.25. So we are decreasing it, and one more additional factor root 3 we are considering in shear, that is based on distortion energy theory. So this is about stress. So this total term accounts for stress. Agree. So this is about the thing. So first you take down. Later I'll explain this about these terms. So as I said, it is simply permissible stress or stress to be considered in the shear. Now let us see these terms. NN. NN is equal to number of shear planes intercepting threaded portion. Here NS. So NN is so I'll explain with the diagram. So NN is a number of shear planes intercepting threaded portion. NS, number of shear planes not intercepting threaded portion. Not intercepting threaded portion. And ASB. So this is the area of the shank of the bolt. So what is the area of the shank of the bolt? It is simply pi by 4 d square. That is circular area. So pi by 4 d square. Now A and B. Net tensile area. Net tensile area of bolt at threaded portion. At threaded portion. So if you see the bolt, there exists a reduction in area at threaded portion. Yes or no? So at threaded portion, there exists a reduction in area. So that is A and B. So this area is, so code suggests us to take that is 0.78 of ASB. That means 0.78 of pi by 4 d square. of pi by 4 d square. So first you take down with a diagram. I'm going to explain number of shear planes intercepting threaded portion and number of shear planes not intercepting threaded portion. First you take down. Okay, finish. So this is the connection. So here we are going to provide a bolts. So in this case, tell me where the shear planes are there. So this is a double core butt joint. So for double core butt joint, how many shear planes are there? 2 shear planes. Yes or no? That is why the bolts in double core butt joint is subjected to double shear. Yes or no? As I said, it is a very, very important concept and important point to be remembered. Clear? So here the 2 interfaces are there. So 2 shear planes here. For every bolt, there exist 2 shear planes. So let us consider only one bolt. Now for example, so here where the threaded portion is there. So if this threaded portion is intercepting in both the shear planes, then NN is 2. Okay, then NN is 2. So if it is not intercepting in both the planes, then NN is 0 and NS is 2. Agree or not? That is what NN and NS. So NN is the number of shear planes intercepting threaded portion. NS is the number of shear planes not intercepting. Clear? That is NN and that is NS. Usually, if anything is not mentioned in the question, assume that there appears a question from this bolted connection and is asking us to find the design shear strength of bolt. So in that question, so if anything is not mentioned about the threaded portion, whether it is intercepting with the shear plane or not, so then simply take that. If it is double shear, so in both the planes, the threaded portion is intercepting. So it means we are going to take it as 2, that as 0. So if it is mentioned, then accordingly we proceed. Agree or not? But mostly, I'm going to assume that it means in double shear, in both the shear plane, the threaded portion is intercepting. So I'm going to assume that. So it means here this is 0. I'm going to consider this as 0. Why? Because see, as we know that what is the safety format? Minimum probable strength and maximum probable load. Agree or not? So if we consider this net area, so 0.78, there is a reduction in area or not? Yes, reduction in area, so that our design is safe. So based on that, I'm going to neglect this and I'm going to consider. So from this, if you're going to neglect it, so what is the assumption we're going to consider? So generally, we are going to assume that both the shear planes is going to intercept the threaded portion in double core butt joint. If it is a single core butt joint or lap joint, there exists only one shear plane. So there also we are going to take assumption that our threaded portion is going to intercepting the shear plane in lap joint and single core butt joint also. So simply consider this and consider this as 0. So now as I said, strength is equal to stress into area. So if we ignore this, now this is known as area or not? Tell me yes or no? So if it is a single core butt joint, number of shear planes exists? Only one. And area to be considered is 0.78 into pi by 4 d square. If it is a lap joint, again 1, 0.78 pi by 4 d square. If it is a double corbett joint, 2 into 0.7 pi by 4 d square. Yes or no? So this is how the formula is going to be modified. So simply stress into area. That's it. So always the format for the writing the formula of strength is stress into area. So now stress into area. That's it. So this is how the formula is modified. Agree or not? So now let us discuss about these things. Okay, let us discuss about these things. So now beta suffix Lj or beta Lj. What is meant by beta Lj? So beta Lj is nothing but reduction factor for long joint. So what are those factors? Let us see. So all these are the reduction factors. So first, so I'm going to rub this. So beta Lj. So beta Lj is nothing but reduction factor for long joint. Reduction factor for long joint. So if we consider the, so if I show you the diagram, the top view this time. So previously what the diagram I have shown is a front view. So now this is a top view. So here the load is there. Here the cover plate. So this is how the rivets bolts are there. Okay, so now the length of the joint is nothing but the first line to the last line. This is known as length of the joint. Okay, this is known as the length of the joint. So first line of the bolt to the last line of bolt, center lines. Okay, distance between center to center, distance between first line to the last line is known as length of the joint. Agree or not? So if this length is greater than 150D, then we have to apply this reduction factor. Agree? So when we have to apply this reduction factor, if this length is greater than 15D, so if the length of the joint Lj is greater than 15D, so what is D here? Die of the hole. Sorry, die of the bolt. DH is the die of the hole. D suffix small h. Here D is the die of the bolt. So now if this Lj is nothing but length of the joint. So length of the joint is nothing but center to center distance between first line to the last line. So if this length of the joints exceeds 15D, so 15D is nothing but D is nothing but die of the shank of the bolt or die of the bolt simply. So if it exceeds 15D, then we have to consider this. So this is a reduction factor for long joint. So if the length of the joint is less than 15D, then no need to consider this. So now the formula for this is given in the code. So first take this diagram. Okay, take this diagram. So the formula that is mentioned for this reduction factor for long joint is given in the code. Beta Lj is equal to 1.075 minus Lj by 200D. So this is the formula given for reduction factor for the long joint in the code book, and that beta Lj value should lie in between 1 to 0.75. So this is the provision regarding long joint. So when we have to consider this beta Lj reduction factor for long joint, if the length of the joint is greater than 15D, then only we are going to consider. So as this is a design, okay, this is a design. So design is nothing but our rules and our choice. So as it is a my design, my choice. So I'm going to ensure that length of the joint comes out to be 15, comes out to be lesser than 15D. Then no need to consider this 0. So no need to consider this reduction factor. So when to consider this reduction factor? If length is greater than 15D, then only we should consider reduction factor for long joint. If not, then no need to consider. As I said, this is a design. So this is the my design, my rule. So no need to consider. I always make the connection such that the length of the joint comes out to be less than 15D. Agree or not? So take it down. So this is the reduction factor for long joint. Okay, so this is about the reduction factor for long joint. Now let us see the reduction factor for Lj. So the Lj is nothing but grip length. Lg. So this is the reduction factor for grip length. So beta Lg. So beta Lg is nothing but reduction factor for grip length. So I guess in the beginning of the bolted connection itself, I have explained what is grip length. So grip length is nothing but the summation of the thickness of the both the members in lap joint. Yes or no? That is the grip length. So again, I'm going to draw the diagram here. So here the grip length is, this is the grip length. This is the grip length. Agree or not? And this is the center line of action of those forces. Center line of action of those forces. So now, observe or think, if this grip length is more, then what happens? The eccentricity between these two line of action of force will increase or not? Tell me yes or no. So if grip length is more, then eccentricity between these line of action of forces will also increase. So if eccentricity will increase, then in addition to the shear bearing and tension, these bolts are subjected to bending moment or not? Bending moment or whatever it may moment. Clear or not? So it means that reduces the strength of our connection or joint, bolted joint. Clear or not? So for that, code has given some specification for this grip length. So for example, if this grip length Lj is greater than 5d, then we have to consider this reduction factor. So as long as this Lg is less than 5d, no need to consider this. And at any cost, code has given one more provision. At any cost, this grip length should not be greater than 80. So the maximum value is permitted between 5d to less than 80. So if it is less than 5d, then no need to consider. So now the formula for this reduction factor for the grip length given in the code is beta Lg. So is it 8d by 3d plus Lg. So this is the formula for reduction factor for grip length. So 8d by 3d plus Lg. So when to consider this grip length? If the grip length is greater than 5d and it is between 8d. So 5d to 8d, then only it is to be considered. So at any case, it should not be greater than 8d. And if it is less than 5d, then no need to consider. So as I said, this is the design. So again, my design, my rule. So now I'm going to design the connection such that grip length, I ensure in all the cases, the grip length comes out to be less than 5d. So again, no need to consider them. So if you ensure that grip length comes out to be less than 5d, no need to consider this. So this is also 0. So take it down. So this is the reduction factor for grip length. Okay. Next. So the next reduction factor here is beta PKG. So that this is the reduction factor for packing plate. Reduction factor for packing plate. So what is meant by packing plate and when we are going to use? So again, this also I'm going to explain with the diagram. So assume that two different thickness member is going to be connected. So this is one member. And now this member is going to be connected to this member, which is having the lesser thickness than the other member. Clear? So this is this member. So now by using a cover plate. So by using a cover plate like this, we are going to connect it. So now there exists a gap here. So to fill this gap, we are going to use packing plate. So here we are going to use a packing plate. So this is packing plate. This is packing plate. And this is how the connection is established. So to fill this gap, we are going to use a packing plate. So when we are going to use a packing plate, whenever the two members of different thickness is being connected, then we are going to use the packing plate. So this is the thickness of this packing plate, TPKG. So TPK is the thickness of packing plate. Thickness of packing plate. So now, if this thickness of packing plate is greater than 6 mm, then we have to consider this reduction factor for packing plate. So it means if the packing plate thickness is less than 6 mm, then no need to consider this. Agree or not? So now, again, as I said, this is my design, my rule. So I always ensure that this thickness of packing plate comes out to be less than 6 mm, or else one thing I will do. What is the thing? So I always connect the members having same thickness. So then no need of packing plate. Again, no need to consider this reduction factor again. Agree or not? But the formula for this reduction factor given in the code is beta pkg is equal to 1 minus 0.0125 TPKG. Okay, so these are the reduction factors. So reduction factor, the name itself is reduction. So because of provision of longer joint, the reduction or efficiency of the bolt-in shear reduces. That is why we are reducing it. And for we provide the more grip length, as we discussed, the additional moment coming on it, so that its strength decreases. That is why we are multiplying with reduction factor. Again, if you provide the thickness of the packing plate more, greater than 6 mm, again it will reduce its efficiency. So now to not to consider all these reduction factors, there are some provisions. So when we are not going to consider this, so if the length of the joint is less than 15T, no need to consider. So ensure that if the grip length is less than 5T, no need of it. Again, if the thickness of packing plate is less than 6 mm, no need to consider. So if we ensure all these conditions, now how this formula is going to modify finally? So I'm going to rub this, so take it down. So now how this formula is going to modify? So finally, the design shear strength of a bolt VDSB is equal to NNANB into FU by root 3 into 1.25. So this is how it is going to modify. Agree or not? So now NN is equal to 1 when for lap and single cover butt joint. And this NN is equal to 2. So it is nothing but number of shear planes, that's it. So for double cover butt joint, So finally see, area into stress, that's it. So everywhere, wherever we are going to write the strength, always the format for strength is area into stress in most number of cases, that's it. But if we directly see this formula, for sure we are going to get the tension about this formula and tension about steel subject, how to study and how to remember. But as I said, if we know the detailing of all those things, all those terms in formula, then see again how simple it is. So simply area into strength, and again A and B. How much it is A and B? Net tensile area of bolt in threaded portion, which is 0.78 into pi by 4 d square. Agree or not? So this is the design tensile strength of bolt in shear. Clear? So take it down.
Okay, in the discussion of the design shear strength of the bolt, that is VDSB, we have seen one formula. That formula is FU by root 3 gamma MB into NNAN plus NSAS into beta LG, beta LJ and beta PKG. This is the formula. Okay, now in this formula there presents the reduction factors. Those are beta LJ, that is reduction factor for grip length, and beta LJ, that is reduction factor for long joint, and beta PKG, that is the reduction factor for packing plate. In the explanation of these reduction factors, okay, in the explanation of these reduction factors, I have written wrongly 0. It means like this I have written. In the explanation of these reduction factors, wrongly I have written as 0 like this. But they are not 0, they are 1. Please make a note of it and kindly correct it. This is a correction in the design shear strength of the bolt what we have discussed previously. Okay. As I said, wrongly or by mistake I have written as 0. But that is not 0, that is 1. So the reduction factors value becomes 1 upon the conditions that are going to satisfy. So please make a note of it and correct it.